Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. Our next guest first rose to fame as the loquacious high school student Murray in the now classic, rightfully so, Clueless. Then he went on to star in the beloved series Scrubs, and now Donald Faison is back on TV with ABC's Emergence. Let's take a look.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Sorry, Alex. I meant to call you and tell you that we had company.
Well, Mia explained it. She also said she's gonna stay here for the weekend.
Wait, what?
I just decided I'm not leaving. It's way too traumatic for Piper.
Oh, it's too traumatic?
Yeah. She needs security and consistency, which is what all children need, which I learned from my therapist, so you should be so psyched about that.
This is the first I've heard of this.
And Dad's totally fine with it.
Well, we have a schedule for a reason, sweetheart. Okay, but you're absolutely right. It is important that all of us are comfortable with the arrangement.
How about this, all right? Next school break, Dad's gonna take my days. You guys can go fishing.
Sounds like a plan.
You're gonna love fishing.
Stick around for dinner. Alex made that garlic bread you like.
Ed, thanks, but I'm good. Hey, come here.
Everybody, please welcome Donald Faison. Let's hear it.
Hello. Thank you.
Sir, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good to see you again.
It's good to see you.
How are
again.
you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm okay, man. I'm okay. No, I'm great. I'm great.
Excellent.
Thank you for asking. One of the things that I love about this show is that there is a wave of shows coming that are about women are at the center of, and sometimes they are cops, they are lawyers, and there are also within those shows supportive, decent husbands.
Right.
Which
Or ex-husbands in my
ex-husbands,
case. Yeah.
which are fun to watch. It's fun to watch men play those roles.
Absolutely.
What did you think when they offered this to you and you saw it in the
I
script?
was very excited to sign on. I was the comedy. I've done comedy forever. It seems like since pretty much Scrubs. You know what I mean? And it's easy to get pigeonholed in this industry. And
because you weren't initially a comedy actor.
no, I had done so many other things before that. And you know, when I went in on the audition, I remember after the audition going to my son's soccer practice and saying to my wife, I think they just saw Turk on the audition. And then I got the part. And, the creators of the show tell a story where it was like, Donald Faison's coming in, the guy from Scrubs, he's probably not going to get the part, but let's give him an opportunity. Let's give him a shot. And just them thinking, let's give him a shot is the reason why I got the part. You know what I mean? I was given the opportunity to do something that I know I can do, but not a lot of people remember me doing.
I mean, that's also a good story of why actors should keep auditioning.
Oh, absolutely. I'm seeing a lot on Instagram. You see a lot of the meme where the guy is pounding the rock and the other dude behind him has found a diamond, so he turns around and starts pounding where the other guy was. But if he would have kept hitting if he kept mining that area, he would have found several diamonds. So yeah, you got to stick in the game.
Was there ever a moment where you didn't want to audition anymore? I mean, you had Clueless, you had Scrubs. I'm sure you get roles offered to you outside of auditioning, right?
Absolutely. But yeah, I thought after Scrubs, I won't have to audition for anything again. But that's when I had to do the most auditioning. And I got a lot of no's after Scrubs, too, because people only saw me or could only see me as Turk. Even if you look at my Instagram, it's a lot of, I'll post a picture and it'll be like, Turk, that's not Carla. It'll be me and my wife. Turk, that's not Carla. Or it'll be me and my kids. Wow, you and Carla's kids, or you and Zach Braff's kids, or, you know what I mean? And it's cool. It's fine. I'm very, very, very appreciative for my time on Scrubs and for the fan base that we built. But sometimes it's like, dang, all you see me as is Turk?
Right. Like, I'm a human being that was playing a part.
Right. I'm also, this is Donald Faison's page, not Turk's page. But, I imagine a lot, I imagine Jaleel White goes through it all the time. You know what I mean?
Probably the worst of it.
Well, yeah. Or Corey Feldman and Corey, you know.
Worst of it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I'm very, very appreciative for my time on that show and the notoriety it's given me.
I was looking at your IMDb, and as we say that, you didn't initially start off doing comedy, your first credited role is for a great movie, kind of a classic, Juice.
Yeah.
Like in the background, like fat.
It's like one line. I remember I auditioned for Juice with everybody except for Pac. Pac wasn't there, but like with Omar, with Khalil, with Jermaine. I was auditioning for the role of Steele, the younger kid in the group, the one that they bullied, kind of.
Because you're a New York City kid, right? You grew up in New York City.
Grew up in New York, and so we're all in the audition. And I remember Ernest Dickerson making us all audition in front of each other and everything like that. And Daryl Chill Mitchell was up for the role of Bishop. He's gone on to have a great career. He's working right now on television. But I remember thinking, oh, he's about to get this role. And then out of nowhere, Tupac got it. Anyway, so my point is, I was yeah.
Pac was like, I want to do that, and they're like,
No,
oh, sorry,
there it is.
Tupac is doing this.
And this is before Pac was a rapper. I didn't know of him as a rapper or anything, and I thought he was going to be this phenomenal actor. And then all of a sudden, he switched lanes. But anyway, so I have you got to rewind it to catch it. But I'm at the locker when Q goes back to school for the first time in a long time after Raheem's been killed. And I say to him, damn, Q, it's been that long, and that's it.
Well, but were you like on set for a day on it, or did you?
Yeah, I was on set for a day, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wonder, I mean, like, it's just like a couple years later that you go to Clueless, right? That you end up doing Clueless.
Right.
That being like really the first set that you had ever been on, what did that feel like? What were the major differences that it felt like? I mean, you have Juice, like, Ernest Dickerson is directing it, you know, it's
Right.
in New York City, and then all of a sudden you're in LA, a completely different world.
Right. That was the one. You know, you have moments. Everyone has moments like this where at some point in your life you're like, either you're like, I can't believe I'm doing this, or you're like, holy cow, I can't believe I'm doing this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that was those moments where I couldn't, like, I remember looking up at the lights on stage and being like, wow, there are lights above me, and I'm actually doing what I said I wanted to do.
When you were on Clueless.
When I was on Clueless.
Yeah.
And, you know, I also remember thinking this movie will never come out. Nobody's ever going to see a silly movie where we're talking really weird. What the hell is a Baldwin? You know what I mean? And I remember Adam Schroeder saying, oh, it's going to be a hit. And me looking at him like, this movie? And he was like, yeah, this movie's going to be really huge. And I couldn't see it, and then it came out, and I watched it, and I was like, oh, wow, I achieved my goal as far as being in, you know, I grew up on The Breakfast Club, and I grew up on 16 Candles and all of these movies, and now finally I'm in the movie, and in all those movies you never see the black character. The black character's in the back, or the black character's the real angry one.
Is not there.
Right, or it doesn't exist in these, you know, in these movies. And my goal was to be Ice Cube in this movie, but also be Jake Ryan in this movie and try, you know what I mean? And after watching it, I was like, holy cow, this movie, you know, I don't know if it's going to be huge, but I definitely did what I sought out to do. And, you know, 25 years later, here we are, and, you know, it still resonates.
Yeah, it's a bold statement, and I'm not just saying it because you're on this stage, but I do think Clueless far surpasses any of those Hughes movies in the 80s. It's far more rewatchable and also holds up with the times.
Well, yeah, a lot of those movies are racist. And, and
super sexist.
Super sexist. And
trivialized sexual assault. Whereas
yeah.
Clueless is actually like, I think probably because it's directed by a really smart woman and
right.
not from a man at that place and at that time.
Like, you can't watch Revenge of the Nerds ever again, dude. No. Like, there's just so much going wrong in that movie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and 16 Candles.
16 Candles, too, yeah. Long Duck Dong is like, what?
Yep. Long Duck Dong and the scene with Anthony Michael Hall in the car, right?
Yeah, well, that's also Revenge of the Nerds, too, at the end.
Same thing in Revenge of the Nerds. A little trickery.
Right. Yeah. Get out of here.
So you're in Emergence now after doing comedy for 3 decades at this point?
Yeah, pretty much.
3 decades. What does it feel like to be doing something that's a bit more dramatic and also, I mean, you get to be not necessarily funny, but the kind of humor that you're displaying here is one that is casual and natural and not sort of, you know, broad like Scrubs was.
Right. It's great. It's very exciting. You know, I haven't been this excited in a really long time. And, you know, you can always tell when somebody's trying to sell you. Can you curse on this?
Yeah.
You can always tell when somebody's trying to sell you shit. You know what I mean? You're like, I smell that a mile away. This is something that I actually would watch if I were a TV watcher. You know what I mean? I would watch something like this because it's got everything that I came into the business for, where it's sci-fi. It's one of those. It's a mystery. It has chills and thrills, and you're gonna see a lot of really outrageous stuff. But then at the center of it, there is heart, and you know, you understand why this police officer takes this really spooky girl in, and so it's what I've wanted to do, and I get to do it, and I'm very, very happy and excited that it's this show, because it could be another show where I'm excited just because I'm doing drama. I'm actually excited because I actually like this show.
You don't watch TV?
Barely. Like, I watch like Game of Thrones and like
You watch,
everybody
like, the
else,
big thing.
right?
Right.
And I watch Bachelor in Paradise. I think that's I love that show. I don't know why, but
I mean, there's nothing to just. I oddly have never watched Bachelor in Paradise, but
oh, you need to turn it on,
know.
man. It's just
I'm
like
terrified
character
of it.
after. It's so terrifying.
Yeah,
but once you
get
rip that
addicted and I
band, yeah,
don't-
you will
no.
get addicted. I promise you.
Yeah.
I love Jordan this season. I thought he was hilarious. Does anybody here know who I'm talking about? No, none of you watch Bachelor in Paradise. Oh, you do, right? I'm going to tell you something right now. Please give yourself an opportunity of pure satisfaction and watch Bachelor in Paradise. You'll love it.
But my fear with that show is those shows are always so much fun to talk about, fun to watch for the moment, but whenever they end, you're like, oh, what did I just... it's like eating like...
Oh, it's guilty. It's guilty
like,
pleasure.
It's like eating a box of cupcakes or something.
Oh,
alone
and that's
be
so
like,
much fun.
oh.
While you're eating it, though, you're like, yes. Well, as it drips down your face, and then you're finished, and you're like, oh, what have I done?
I remember falling for the original Jersey Shore, the first couple seasons.
Oh,
of
my
that
gosh,
show.
yes.
Just totally falling for it and loving it and thinking it was hilarious. But every time I finished an episode, I would want to like just crawl into the shower,
Absolutely.
and like curl up in a ball and
Absolutely. This is that show, too. I love it. I love it. And it's not, I watch that and then a lot of sports stuff and, like basketball games and golf and stuff like that. As I've gotten older, I seek that out more than I seek out network television or even cable television, to be honest with you. There's a bunch of shows that I've never seen. Like, people tell me I need to see Homeland. I've never watched an episode of Homeland.
You're fine.
Yeah, I've never watched. Right.
It's fine.
Right. But there's so many shows that I've never watched, and it's because I choose not to, and I don't want to get caught up. Jealousy envy is a
Did you ever
horrible
find that
thing.
at a certain point in your career where you were seeing movies or shows and being like, why aren't I in that, or what happened?
Right,
here?
not
Or
why-
you auditioned and you didn't
Right,
get it.
and I didn't get it, or
I'm better than that guy. Why did he get
I
it?
would never say I'm better than that guy, but I would definitely be like, if I only had that guy's opportunity, or you know what I mean, maybe I could do something with it. So I decided, you know what, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to necessarily watch myself either. But
The craziest thing about acting is that your career over the past 3 decades is without the envy of probably most working actors or attempting to be
I
working
totally
actors.
understand that. Yeah.
But yet you still probably, at certain points in your life, even while quite successful, have existed in a place of seeing somebody else and being kind of like, oh, that career looks amazing.
Absolutely. There are movies and television shows that I wish I was a part of. One that's coming out, The Mandalorian. I wish I could have been on that show.
Well, you are in the Star Wars family.
I am
though.
in the Star Wars family, but now that's not enough. Now it's like I want to be in The Mandalorian, or you know what I mean?
In the animated Star Wars family, I want to be in that Star
Right.
Wars
It's
family.
it's just how it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think that's necessary to be in this industry. You have to want it. You know what I mean? It's not something that's going to come to you. You have to go out and get it. And make it happen for yourself. And so it serves me well.
Do you have a show or a movie that you auditioned for that you didn't get that still hurts, that you still hold on to?
No.
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 There wasn't one big one that you were like that. Oh.
No, I mean, I didn't get to audition for Solo. You know what I mean? I wanted to audition, and I didn't get to audition for Force Awakens. I wanted those auditions.
Just Star Wars, isn't it?
Pretty much. When it comes to missing out, I feel like that's it right now. Everybody has their own lane. Everybody has their own destiny and what they're going to do as actors and stuff like that. I would love for mine to involve Star Wars. Not necessarily be the actors that are in Star Wars. I just want to be, like, that's my thing.
I just imagine that every time a new Star Wars is announced, like Kathleen Kennedy's phone rings,
maybe.
and it's like,
No.
oh, it's Donald's agent again. Look, we're working on it. We're trying to find something.
No, I just hope, maybe I'll get an audition. Maybe I'll get an audition.
Yeah. Well, someone's got to call though to put your name in a lot of the time, right?
Well, no, I think they know now. I think they're pretty. I think
You've made it very.
I made it very clear that this could.
This isn't the only talk show that you.
No.
Your want to be in the.
This
Star
has been
Wars
going on
family.
for years now, since the episode 1 came out, and I literally was like, George Lucas,
The Lucas
please,
199, yeah.
please, if anything, yeah, sure. And I've learned never ask.
Oh wow.
Just beg on television, maybe it'll happen.
Are you excited for this year's Star Wars that's coming?
Yeah, I'm excited for all Star Wars, always.
Really?
Yeah, I can't help it.
How many times have you seen The Force Awakens?
A few, quite a few.
Did you like Force Awakens more than Last Jedi, or?
Yeah, I did not like The Last Jedi as much as I liked The Force Awakens.
But you like The Last Jedi.
I mean, yeah, it's Star Wars.
Is there a Star Wars that you don't mess with that's just not for you?
No. I love Star. I mean, I didn't think this was gonna go this way, but yeah, I do love Star Wars.
Well, I think this is fun. When did you first see Star Wars, and which was it? The first Star Wars when you saw it, or was it?
Yeah, so it was when A New Hope was still called Star Wars, and I was 3 years old, and it's one of my first memories of anything. And all I remember is, I don't necessarily remember the movie. I remember R2-D2 going across the screen, and it's literally like I have maybe 2 other memories of when I was 3 years old, and that's one of them.
Wow. And so then you finally got to see it, and you just fell in love with all of them.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was like, this is what I've been. This is. I remember this. I remember when I saw this, and it just became,
What is your favorite Star Wars movie?
The Empire Strikes Back.
Good answer. It's really the only answer, isn't it?
Well, I mean, they're all good, but that's obviously the best.
It's the holy grail of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have some time for audience question. Who has a question?
Okay.
Hey.
Well, thank you. Oh,
What's up, bro?
how are you?
You think we were done and no one?
I thought that was it. I was about to say, wow.
I've been watching.
We talked about Star Wars a little too much, I guess.
How you doing today? I've been watching you since Clueless.
Right on.
I gotta ask you this: out of all the films and TV shows you've done, what's your personal favorite, and who do you like working with?
My personal favorite is Remember the Titans. That's a movie that I can actually watch that I've been in, where I'm like, I'll watch. If it's on, I'll be like, okay, I'll watch that. That one, and then I did a movie that nobody ever saw called Trippin', with myself. Right. Well, you sister, come on. It was for us. And so I shouldn't say nobody saw it. We saw it, and I could watch that one also.
Who else is in Trippin' with you?
It's me, Deion Richmond, Maia Campbell, Anthony Anderson, Guy Torrey, Stoney Jackson. Who else is in it? Cash Warren's dad, Michael Warren, Naomi Campbell. Yeah. There's
Huge
quite
cast,
there's
yeah.
quite a few other people in it.
Yeah. 2 more questions.
Hello.
Oh wow,
Oh,
no
yeah.
doubt.
So, you have been acting close to 30 years now. So what would you say has been your biggest life lesson you learned?
My biggest life lesson that I learned, and it's gonna sound really morbid, but your last job could literally be your last job, and so you always gotta keep it pushing and keep going. So that's the lesson I've learned. It's not one of those things that comes to everybody. You have to work for it.
Thank you.
No doubt.
One more. Oh, right here.
Hi, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I have loved Scrubs, and I think part of it, the main part was there's such a great energy among all the cast. So I'm wondering what the process was to audition if any of the cast members knew each other beforehand, and the relationship with you and Zach Braff in that program was amazing. Do you still connect with one another?
Okay, so the audition process was like all audition processes where you get your first call and then your second call, and I think I auditioned for Scrubs like 4 or 5 times. And I remember the last time I auditioned, I blew the audition. And this was for network. It was the network test, the screen test.
Blew it how?
Like I was so big and I came in. When Scrubs started, we tried to be as real as possible and let the comedy speak for itself. And as time went on, we just got crazier and crazy as sitcoms do. And I blew the audition and I went in there and I was going for laughs instead of going for the realness. And I walked out and I thought I crushed it. And they let everybody else go in. And then Bill Lawrence, the creator of the show, came up to me and he was like, Donald, I need to talk to you for a second. And I'm looking back like, I got this. He's going to tell me I got this. And he's like, listen, I don't know, but you kind of know. You totally blew that audition just now. And I was like, I did? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, but I want to give you another chance. And I just want you to come in there and play it as real as possible. And I was like, oh, okay. And so then I went in again and auditioned. And the rest is history. That's part 1. You had like 3 parts to that question.
The energy on
The relationship with Zach Braff and...
Okay, so did anyone know each other? No one knew each other. None of us knew one another. We were all brand new to... Literally, we all met for the first time at the table read. And then Zach and I, when we met... You married?
Yes.
Okay, so do you remember the first time you met your wife?
My husband.
Okay, do you remember the first time you met your husband?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that energy that you felt when you guys met?
Oh, yeah.
That was exactly the energy that he and I felt when we met. It was one of those things where it was like, yo, and he was like, yo, and I was like, bro. I didn't say that. I'm just joking. But right. But I was like, dude, and he was like, dude, and I was like, we should hang out. And he was like, we should totally hang out. And so we did the whole season of Scrubs, and we would go out to parties and everything like that. And it came time for us to end the season, and we didn't know if we were going to get picked up. But I had gotten a movie in New York, and he was doing Shakespeare in the Park. And he was like, yo, you want to live together this summer? And I was like, I totally want to live together this summer. And we wound up living together for a whole summer in New York, downtown in the Village. And that cemented it. That's when we knew we were going to be together forever.
And you're still together.
He is my best friend. Like, it is legit when I say this. Yeah. And I do get jealous when he posts pictures of him and other actors or other, like he posts pictures of him and what's the dude's name? Ed Sheeran?
Oh, but you know they're not real friends.
Look, dude, I'm going to tell this story right now, and this is the honest to goodness truth. I introduced Zach to Ed Sheeran's music, and it was, so baby now, hold me in your arms, kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. And I said that, and
you guys are really close, aren't
right.
you? Yeah.
And when he heard that, he was like, pfft. And I was like, what? He was like, kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Come on, man, this isn't good music. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he's always hanging out with Ed Sheeran. Dude, he loves this guy now. Ed Sheeran just signed his nipple. And I remember when I first introduced him, how he was like, "No, man, you missed me on this one. This isn't my type of music." So for Ed out there, just know that your friendship that you have with him is false, man. It was.
Do you ever get to hang out with the two of them, or is it
no? And if I ever did, I would rat Zach out so quick.
That's why he won't invite you.
Right? He's like, no. I'll be like, "What you doing tonight?" He's like, "Well, I'm hanging out with Ed." "Oh, I'm coming through." No.
Man, it's good to see you again. Thanks for stopping by. Emergence premieres on Tuesday night on ABC. Everybody give Donald a huge round of applause for coming by.